Everyone, welcome back. This is Heyman. So guys, in our last sessions we just developed our first API, and in that API what we see, we have user controllers, we have entity classes, we have services, we have repository layers and all. Okay, so we have just gone through the basic structure, like what's just go behind the APIs. Okay, so guys, in our today's sessions what we will go, we will just see like the Liquibase. So Liquibase is the new terms. So let me just understand like why we just go through for this Liquibase. So guys, in our last sessions we just design an entity class, and that entity class corresponding we have one entity, or we can say like user tables. Okay, but in real industry we have not that concept directly. We just use some kind of migration tools, kind of DB migration tools. Either we can just use Liquibase, Flyway and all. And here the Liquibase is basically support us to design or write some kind of change logs, okay, through which we can just design our database tables. Not only design the database tables, but we can just perform the alteration on the DB tables, kind of DDL operations, DML operations and all. Okay, so this is basically the agenda of our today's session. Okay, so and guys, before going further, this question definitely come in your mind, like why we are just introducing Liquibase here or any DB migration tool. So in real industries, in the project we have multiple developers, we can say, like simultaneously. So it is not possible, to design the manually writing scripts, kind of SQL scripts, to update or to add in the database tables. Okay, so we just use some kind of DB migration tool through which we can just migrate our DB operation smoothly, and we can even just store our change log, their history and all. Okay, like at which moment like we just designed that particular things, or that kind of migration we have just performed in the past and all. Okay, so this is the theory behind this session. Okay, so in our today's sessions we will just go through about this DB migration tool, like how powerful Liquibase and how much easy it is. Okay, and other than this we will also go through what is the benefits of this Liquibase, how we can just easily design the stuff with the help of it. Okay, the flow and all, like in depth. And apart than that we will just introduce one more service today, kind of product service. Okay, so that product service, their corresponding entity classes, changelog, we will just design. And here guys, one interesting thing is here, like we will just use GitHub Copilot. Okay, so this GitHub Copilot will just help us to design the stuff very easily. Okay, yeah, so let's start. So before going further guys, let's first add our we can say dependency. So here we just need to add the dependency first for our Liquibase. Okay, so here this is just giving me some kind of suggestions. Let me just, am I missing something? Oh yeah, let me just add this dependency tag. Okay, yeah, so guys, here you guys can see we have Liquibase core, that is the artifact ID we have. So this is our Liquibase dependency to support us the Liquibase changes. Okay, so here we have the Liquibase changes. Now we just need to go further, and inside this resource and application YAML file, here we just need to add our Liquibase configuration details, so that our system just support this Liquibase. So rather than we can say design this stuff manually, just writing these things manually, we will just use our GitHub Copilot. Okay, so I'm just using this application YAML file directly here. Okay, and rather than ask, we can also use the edit mode. Okay, like this. And here what we need to do, we just need to we no need pom.xml file, so directly we just need we also need no need this one. So I'm just adding this file here, and here we just need to add Liquibase configuration details. Okay, Liquibase configuration details. So guys, this is our GitHub Copilot. So here we have multiple modes. So either we can just use ask. So ask is basically give us suggestions. So rather than giving suggestions, we can just also use the edit operations. What edit operation will do, edit will directly give some kind of interface through which we can either accept that part or reject as per our need. Okay, so it will just give us these details. You guys can see we can just add these details for Liquibase configuration inside our application.yaml file. Okay, so as of now I'm just adding below, excluding below details, and these details I just added. Okay, so this is just enabled as of now. Let me just review. Okay, so let me just accept that part. This is already accepted. Okay, so sorry, this one I'm just not. Okay, yeah, this part I just added here. Okay, so I'm just removing this stuff, and as of now we have only these details. So Liquibase is just enabled as true, and inside the changelog we just need to add this one. So this is the industry standard. We just need to give the path in such a way. We can just even just change the name here. Okay, but this is our default db changelog master.yaml, where we will just add all the changes, even kind of include details. Okay, so here inside our class path resources, I'm just going to create this db folder, but yeah, this db folder I already created. Inside this db I'm just creating one more folder or directory with the name changelog. Inside this changelog we just need to create with this file name. Okay, so I'm just going to create one file name with these details. Okay, so guys, this is our db changelog master YAML file. Okay, so in this db changelog master YAML file I've just added here in this, we can say in changelog master YAML we need include for all changelog path. Okay, so it means here we just need to include all the changelog paths where we just need to add our changelog details. Okay, so here we will for example for this product details I'm just creating my own changelog. Okay, so that details we just need to add. Okay, so here you guys can see we have all the details. So rather than creating one by one all these things like create tables, add details and constraint and all, I'm just putting only a single details include all. Okay, like this include all is enough in itself. We no need any further details. Okay, and we also no need as of now. Okay, so I will explain these things later on, but yeah, so to be very precise and simple, we only need this path. Okay, include all path is db, we can say changelog, we can just name as changes. Okay, this simple. I'm just accepting this one. Okay, so here you guys can see inside this. So guys, this Liquibase changelog, whatever the dependency we have just added, that dependency will just read that path, this one db changelog master.yaml, and this db changelog master YAML will just include all the changelog files but is just residing inside this changes folder. Okay, so that's the basic story, you can see. So guys, now inside this db changelog folder we will just create one more folder with the name changes. Okay, so here we will just put all our changes. So guys, the developer, whatever the developer we can say in the project, so they just what they do basically, they just create their own file. So as a developer, this is my regular choice, I just create the name of here, kind of what sprint I'm just currently working on. So that project name kind of we can say my project name is e-commerce here. So let's suppose e-commerce we have, and we have some sprint, current sprint, let's suppose we have some sprint just going on. Okay, sprint name we can just mention in such a way. Okay, so sprint 001 we can say, and dot xml. Okay, so this xml I just design, and what we can do, we can directly put this xml here, and in my sprint xml I want to add my changelog. No need to design, in very descriptive, but in my initial initial session, I just want to make sentence in such a way so that you guys can also habitual on this. Okay, so in my sprint XML I want to add my changelog to add one new table as product. Okay, so product, this new table we are introducing right now, guys. Okay, and here what we can do, like kind of ID. Okay, so ID, like we can just mention this should be primary key. Then we have kind of product name. Okay guys, and we can just later we can just mention kind of quantity. Later some we can say like retailer ID. Retailer ID is just nothing, we can say like from where this product is basically coming. Okay, or some kind of invoice details or invoice ID we can just mention. So this kind of some details we can just mention over here. Okay, so guys, while designing any table, make sure in the systems we just need to check what kind of relationship we have with the existing system. Okay, so let's suppose as a developer, each and every time whenever any particular requirement come in front of me, so while designing the tables we just gone through the story clearly first, and then we just make the relationship with the existing system, and accordingly we just design the new table. Okay, so this is my table, this is my Liquibase schema, this is just provided everything in front of me, like this is the my change set ID, this is my author name. Okay, this is the table name, and column data type, this should be auto increment, should be true. Okay, primary key, that's why it's null is false. Okay, this is my product name, this is quantity mostly in integer type. Okay, so retailer ID and invoice ID. Okay, so and this is the rollback in case this change log is not on, so that should be on the rollback state. Okay, so yeah, so I'm just okay with all this, so I'm just clicking on this accept all. Yeah, boom. So that is my first, we can say like change log. So this is all design. So guys, what we just need to do now, we just need to design the further part. So let me just run this part. Okay, just let me just run this change log. So what this change log will do, so in the database you guys can see like as of now we have this only this user table. Okay, in the user table we have only these two dummy records I just added. So guys, later on we will just create the entire stuff, I mean like in a very we can say like production based things, but as of now I'm just going with some basic details so that you guys can just relate the things, and later on we will just make the relationship between all these services like user services or user table. As of now we can say user with product, okay, with order IDs and all. Let's go back. Okay, so here you guys can see this is my change log details. Let me just go here on the top. So is my change log running here or not? So let me just go to the database. Let me just refresh the table. Okay, so I can only see the users, so maybe my change log are not, my change log seems didn't run properly. Yeah, something seems missing here because I can't see this change log details, or this change log didn't run. Okay, so might be we just missed something here. Yeah, so this is our Liquibase details, this is our db.changelog master YAML, this is running properly. This is our database changelog file, this is also run properly, and this is our first e-commerce file. Okay guys, I just run my changelog again. Here you can just see like here this is my like creating database history table with name like this one, date public database changelog. Okay, so guys, whenever our Liquibase changelog run first time, it is just generate these tables kind of database changelog where we just generate the history for all the changelogs. Okay, and here it is just creating the snapshot for all this. Okay, so guys, before going further, let me just explain one thing very clearly. So whenever any changelog run, I mean like first time, so that time it is just acquires, I mean like this one, you guys can just see like successfully acquired changelog log. Okay, in this moment it is just run the changelog log and just perform this operations whatever we have. Okay, so here the table product created. Okay, so all the logs are basically just generated by the Liquibase. Okay, so I just didn't mention anything anywhere, but just Liquibase design all these change logs. Okay, so you guys can just see like this change set history, update summary here. So this one, these the details, update summary generated. So after performing all the things, it is just successfully released the changelog log. Okay, so here in the database, earlier we have only users table. Now let me just refresh this. So now we have, seems my dbehavior is hanged. Let me just open my dbehavior again. Dbehavior is basically a tool where we can just open multiple, like we can say like SQL or non-SQL database can open. So currently I just open our project details here. Okay, so this is my database, e-commerce, schema, public, tables. Okay, so guys, our Liquibase just generate this database changelog and database changelog log kind of two configuration table. Okay, that is it's on. So database changelog log is basically this particular changelog I have just run, who is the author, what is the file name, when it is executed. So all the details are basically stored here. Okay, it means each and every time whenever we just run any change log and new change log, we can say like, so it's empty, it is just basically check. Okay, and guys, make sure don't change any changes in the existing change log rather than just design any new change log. Okay, and even we can just perform the changes on the existing chain log also, so we will just see this part in the later sessions. Okay, yeah, so these are my things. So guys, this is my tables what we just added the product. Okay, so you guys can see like product ID, name, quantity, retailer ID and invoice ID. Okay, and this is my database chain log. So guys, yeah, this one. So now what we will do, we will just generate one controller here. Okay, so in the controller what we will do, so before going further, rather than controller, first we will just design the entity class. Okay, so this is my entity class for product. So we will just make this name as product entity. Okay, this one, this is my entity class. So you guys can see already we have a user entity class. So these are some annotations what I'm just copying from here and just pasting here. Okay, so entity, we already know about the entity relationship. It's table name I'm just adding as products, what I already created like here, the product, its name as product. Okay, the getter and setter. Okay, so kind of Lombok annotations we have, we don't need to design like this one. So this relationship, this error is basically coming due to the primary key. We just need to add the primary relationship here. Okay, so here in the product entity class directly I can just put here like this, or we can say like design product entity class as per the product change log. Okay, so guys, here what it will do, it will just generate all the, we can say like whatever the column we have just added inside the product table, so their corresponding entries we can just see over here. So we can just add all these things. Okay, so it is just suggesting us like in such a way. So okay, we can just accept this part, it is not an issue. Okay, so here we can just, it is just giving us the name like in such a way we can just go. Okay, so we can just accept that part. So this is our entity class. Okay, so entity class is just design. So now what we can do, we can just go inside our repository class. So as we have the user repository, the similar we can just design our, we can say product repository interface. Okay, so this is my product repository. Okay, so inside this product repository we can just extend our JPA. We can just extend our JPA repository. Okay, so in this JPA repository we can just give like the class name kind of product entity, and what we have kind of long. So this primary key we just need to give here like this. Okay, so here if we need any methods, so far I'm not using any method here because JPA repository just provides some method in itself, so we can have to use those. Okay, So repository we have ready. So now we will just design our service. So as we have user service, the same we can just create our own product service. Okay, so inside the product service, okay, this one, so we can just create our own method over here. Okay, kind of which method I just designed to be here, like similar like this one. Okay, so we can just directly, for example, like we can just create our product entity, create product, this one. Okay, so IntelliJ just provides some short some like predefined sentences or predefined we can say like what should be the method there, parameters, so that we can just use all those. Okay, so this is my product service IMPL we just need to use. So let me just use one Java class like this one. So this is our product service IMPL. Okay, so this is just, we can just implement this with our product service. So we can just override our create product method. Okay, this one, and here we also need to use the same like user controller. We just need to use our product controller. Okay, so here we have product controller. Okay, this is our product controller. So directly we can just use this product controller here. Okay, so create API for adding product. Okay, adding products. So it can just directly give us some reference, so that reference we can just use. Okay, so guys, we can directly write down each and everything manually, but if we have some kind of like automatic code given tool, so we can say like something this, so we can directly use all those. Okay, so either ChatGPT we can use, or we can just use GitHub Copilot and other tools also. Okay, so this is our code, this one. So yeah, this is great. So even we can just even use like this one. Okay, so validations, Jakarta validations, we are not using anything as of now. So this part we can just I cover later on, like how we can just validate all the things. Okay, so guys, you guys can see like it is just auto-wired is our product repository. Okay, so we will not use such a way. What we can do, this part we can just cover, like this part. So this one we should to cover inside our product service IMPL, like this one. Like here we should to return like this. Okay, so they were the product repository, like this one. Here we have, so we do it like this, and this one I had done, and we just need to add the constructor parameter, or we can just add here like add that all ask constructors. Okay, so this one is done now. This part is also covered. This is my product controller. We no need to design this part now. Okay, inside the response entity, what we need to do, so first of all we will just use our product service here. Okay, so product service we will just use. Okay, seems, yeah, we'll remove this part, only this one as well. So okay, so we just need to add, okay, so we just need to add inside this. So you can directly refer all ask constructor or required ask constructor. This one we just need to add here like this, but we could not auto-wire. No beans of product service type found, no beans of product service. So inside the product service, oh, we just need to add service here. Okay, so this one, yeah, we don't need this one, right, as of now. So go just back in the product controller. Yeah, this part is done. So here we just only need to write like this part, response entity dot okay, and here we can just call like product service dot, we have this product, and this product entity we can detail like these details we can just ask from the front end or from the postman. Okay, so our API just design. Okay, so these details we will just collect from there. So this is my controller layer, this is my service, so this is our implementation, and here this one, so this is our current repository, so this is part of our, like, this will be just covered along with the API repository. Okay, so let me just run this API. Okay, let me just run the project again, this one. And guys, what happened, the validations? So okay, so let's remove this validations part. Currently we no need the validations currently, we will just cover this part later. Okay, let's accept all these things, just rerun again. Okay, yeah, so this is done now. Oh, what happened? It is just saying like field product service in this required a product service that could not be found. Okay, so inside the product controller we have this product service. Okay, so what we don't need this auto wired here, right? The earlier we can just mention the same way, so you just need to use the same. Let me just run again. So as we already mentioned, like this required args constructor, then we no need to like mention explicitly about all this. Okay, so now you guys can see like Tomcat started on this port. So guys, let's go to this entity class, so you guys can see like this column. So these columns we just need to generate our data like in such a way. So let me just duplicate this tab here. So this one is for product now. Okay, so here inside this product controller you can see like API products. Okay, so this products, so that path should be matched here. Okay, this is my API. Inside this API we just need to provide this product. Okay, and this product is a copy of this product entity, and here this part is just generated by the database. In itself, generation type is identity, as we already discussed in our last sessions. So we only need to provide these details. Okay, product name, quantity, retailer ID, and invoice ID. So let me just open this body form data. Oh, sorry, not form data, but we have this raw JSON. So we just need to give this product name. Okay, so product name, let's suppose we have laptop. Okay, then we have quantity. So in our warehouse, let's suppose we have some quantity like 100. Then we have retailer ID. So retailer ID is nothing but we can say like kind of from where this product is purchased. So this is the retailer ID, and at the end we have kind of invoice ID is the ID where we have just all the invoice details. Okay, so let's suppose this is the detail and this one is the retailer ID and this is our invoice ID. Okay, let me just click on send button. Yeah, so we just got some error. Why we just setting error? It is just saying like this one create product because this dot product service is null. Okay, so let me just go here. So here we have this like product service is null. So this product service we are just using inside this product controller like this. Yeah, so here we just need to add this as private final. Let me just rerun again. Okay, so here, yeah, project is now up. Okay, Tomcat pod you can see. So let me just go to the Postman. Let me just give these details. Yeah, so these are the details what we just added. So in the response we just see, and in the database, let me just refresh. So yeah, so in the database we can just see the details. So guys, this is our product APIs. So we have just designed the entire stuff on the product APIs. In our further sessions we just discuss the validations part. Okay, the validations, or rather than just exposing the entity to the outer world, it is like recommended we should to use the DTO class. So we will just also use the DTO concepts. Okay, and we will also use kind of exception handling. Okay, and then later on we will also use some JWT side, because rather than just using the API directly, we should to use the JWT kind of Spring security modules. Okay, and once all this part will done, like kind of our monolithic API will done, we will just move on the microservices part. Okay, so this is our today's session. Thank you.